Hello, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I'm going to show you 3 ways to know if somebody's entering your room, your hotel room, when you're not here, when you're not in the room. I religiously don't let anybody enter my hotel room when I'm there. The reason is I just don't like to think about all the time it takes to I don't need the bandwidth in my brain being used up by thinking how to protect my room from people grabbing things. So like if I leave my computer sitting on the table, I don't want them to accidentally trip over the cord and pull it down on the floor. I don't want them stealing stuff. I don't want them moving things around. And so I just don't want the mental frustration of thinking about people. Plus, I want to just leave the room without preparing for somebody to come in to clean the room. So I don't let them do it. I stopped this, must have been 15 years ago. I started, I've been traveling nonstop for 16 years. I've lived in about 1,000 hotels, and I just don't. But, it's a constant battle. I stay in hotels that are small enough where normally they have 1 or 2 cleaning people. And that makes it simple because I only have to communicate it to the owner, the staff, the receptionist, and the cleaning people. The cleaning people are the most important. But I tell them not to enter my room. Now, you guys are going to have those signs on the outside of the door that say don't enter the room, which is nice. But if the hotel's not providing it, it don't matter because I can put a sign on the outside of the door and that doesn't mean the person can read, right? So I have to tell them personally. But the signs are nice. I mean, if you have the thing to hang on the door, don't enter. Then if they're entering, hey, it's a problem. Okay, so first of all, I'm constantly doing management where I'm telling the staff not to enter my room, which is normally 90% of the hotels, that's pretty good. Then you got the vigilant hotel that really wants to enter to clean. They want to. The worst one is the paranoid one that thinks that you're doing something in there or whatever. But you have people, I'm going to show you 3 ways to see if they enter the room, to test them. Because I basically rented the room and they don't have the right to enter my private domain. Now a lot of landlords and owners think they have the right. They say, hey, it's mine, I own it. It's just not right. And I could go into great terms on legality of real estate. That you have a leasehold right to that thing. You own the right to that place. You own the space until taken away. Okay? Okay, so first thing when I'm leaving the hotel, I do not give the key to the desk. I never ever give the key to the desk. If I'm being forced to give the key to the desk, I move out. Okay? That tells the hotel that I'm out of the hotel and when I'm coming back, and they got this time space. So I don't want them to know that. And then they ask me, where are you going? I'm always coming back shortly. I'll be right back. Because I'm not going to tell them, I'm going to be gone for 18 hours and you're going to have 18 hours to rob my room. So I'm always coming back. I don't tell the hotel my plans for the day, where I'm going, or whatever. I'm not saying I'm being dishonest with them. I mean, in a lot of the hotels, I tell kind of what I'm doing, but as a rule of thumb, if somebody asks me where I'm going, I'm coming right back. If there's a sign that, one of those things that you hang on the door, sometimes I steal one from somebody else's door because they don't have enough in the hotel, and hang it on my door, it says, do not enter. If there's one of those, I put that on. But I go to the staff and somehow I communicate to the cleaning person, do not enter my room. Then I tell the owner of the reception, do not enter my room to clean. Do not enter my room to clean. I don't say do not enter. I say don't clean. I have my computer. I have my stuff. I don't want them to break the computer. So I got to get them to empathize with me that I don't want them to break something in there because then they feel guilty, like, oh, I could enter and break his computer. I leave my computer running anymore. Okay, so here's the 3 ways that I can tell if people are entering the room. I'm going to show you a video afterwards, but I have a card, like index cards. You can't really use paper because it falls out. But what I do is I close the door. If I can do this. from the inside. I close the door, and from the outside you would just see a little piece of paper. When the door opens, it falls out. So really it would be, if you was looking at it from the inside, it would be something like that. When the door opens, it falls down. This is the same thing, works a little better, is wire ties. Wire tie, what is nice about it is it's got this little round thing on the end. They're really nice for like TSIA and all these people. I'm hanging it in my thing, but it's hanging on the other side, and then when it opens, it just heavy enough it falls down. Going to be a little difficult for some of you because you're fat. Oh, this thing's not focusing. Okay, can I get it to focus? Hold on. I guess I got it to focus. What I did is I put this little bottle here, and then I put a mark on the floor. I marked it right here. And what that does is I only have that much distance to walk in and out. So when I walk in, I have to make sure that I walk in very small. You can see my wire tie fell on the floor. Obviously, if you just want to push the door open, you're really chubby, that thing's going to move. But basically, what they would do if they had entered the room, they're going to push the door all the way open, and that thing's going to be moved over. Right? It's going to be moved over farther than the mark. Okay, the third way is to have a light. I have a special light I carry. That's my thing full of clothespins. Can you imagine that? I have clothespins. But just leave the bathroom light on, or leave, if you really want to do it, leave the overhead light on. Leave the air conditioner on. Bottom line is that if they're entering to shut electricity off, it's really, they should be telling you, hey, please shut the electricity off or whatever. But really, you own that space. And if they don't like the lights being on when you're gone, they should raise the price. Okay? They shouldn't be lecturing you on turning the lights off. I mean, there'll be signs. I mean, I don't want to shut the air conditioning off ever. The reason is, when I come in, I want it to be at a constant 23 degrees centigrade, whatever that is. And I don't get to see Fahrenheit anymore. So I want it to be at 23 degrees centigrade. That's what it's at right now. And I don't want to turn it up and then have this constant fluctuation in the temperature. I want all the furniture to stay at the same temperature. I want everything to be at the same temperature. I think that in a 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel, 3-star hotel, if they ever shut your air conditioning off, I think they're not a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. I mean, it should always be a constant temperature, controlled, right? You don't want to have this acclimation. But so the three things. What I do is I put a piece of paper on the outside of the door. I'm going to show you a video afterwards. And when it falls down, they wouldn't see it. I can use a wire tie also. I put a little mark on the floor with a thing, or I just leave the light on. The leaving the light on is a respect thing. If they respect you, they won't come in and shut the light off. If they don't respect you, they'll come in and shut the light off. Not focusing very good. Those are your three things. But you got to train your hotel. And this is why I don't stay in hotels with more than about 3 or 4 people of staff. It gets too difficult to train. When there's 20, 30 of them, there's no way to train them. Basically, they're going to do anything and everything they want to do. They're going to blame it on the night shift, or the day shift, or whatever. And there's nobody to hold responsible for your room. In a way, to me, a 5-star hotel should really assign a cleaning person to you, and that is the only person that should ever enter your room if you want it clean. If anybody other than maybe 1 or 2 of these 2 people assigned to you as your designated cleaning person, enters the room, you know it. So we basically, anybody entering the room, you know who's entering the room. Anybody that's not to enter that room. So I mean, these people going up and down on floors, switching around, this is just not acceptable from a security point of view. The staff cannot control it. And what the hotel always says, oh, we hire people. In America, you go into a hotel in New York City and you sit there and you look at the immigrant staff that's managing, and they don't even speak. Yo necesito hablas de español. I must speak Spanish more in New York City than I do in like other countries. In other countries, it's amazing. It's just amazing the staff that we're supposed to just carte blanche trust. Look at your cleaning person. Just because he works for a nice hotel doesn't mean they're honest. We had I managed real estate in the United States, and we had to run them through all sorts of tests. And, but you're really afraid because the people that apply for these jobs are not, from the best of families. So we had to run all sorts of police. What do? We ran a criminal check. We asked very specific questions. We tested them all the time. But still, how long has a person been with us? How sneaky are they? What are they? I mean, people get desperate, right? How desperate. I mean, anybody that would be asking for their paycheck earlier on Friday would lose their job because they couldn't manage their money, and you knew that I'm in charge of the security of the house that they're entering. But you want to call the house and say, you always want them to be there when you're doing maintenance work. But if somebody, same thing for a hotel. If somebody's coming into your room, you want to be with them. Or, guess what? You get robbed. I can honestly say in 16 plus years of non-stop traveling, living in 1,000 hotels, I have never been robbed inside my hotel. Now, I have forgotten so many things and left under the bed, under the sheets. Oh, it's just amazing how easy it is to forget something. But I will caution you this. When you're doing this stuff, don't get paranoid. You can, if you're going to do this thing, you have to do it 100% of the time. And you will forget to do it and think the thing fell. Hey, you got to really be careful. One of the reasons why I did it in this hotel and started it is there's a guy that, I don't know, he doesn't have that much work to do. So what he does is he ends up hanging around in one of the bedrooms, kind of like, I don't know, laying around, sleeping or watching TV. A lot of times the cleaning staff will be in a hotel room watching TV while they're not busy, right? Well, this person knows too well when I'm coming and going. I really don't like them on the same floor. I like them to be downstairs. I don't like them really just that much monitoring. So it makes me nervous. So, and just you need to be the manager of the hotel when you go in the hotel to live in the hotel. You can't rely on, I'm in very poor countries a lot of times, but it doesn't matter. When I'm in rich countries, it's worse because immigrants are really, first generation immigrants is not your top of the notch person a lot of times. I mean, it's not the top of the notch that leave the country, it's the tricky that leave the country because they're the ones that manipulate the whole system, lie, cheat, and get out of the country. You have to manage the hotel. When you're walking into a hotel, you're not allowing the management to do it, you're managing it. And if you don't take that responsibility, you're going to be robbed. Okay, Andy Graham, Hobo Traveler in Lomé, Togo, March 2014. You guys that want to ask me questions, it's on the screen. Any question is good. Smart questions, dumb questions. Normally the person that thinks their question is stupid is the person that's asking the good question. The person that thinks they really got a good question is normally the one that's got an agenda. So just ask your question. I will try my best to answer any question. Anywhere I've been to 90 countries, and I really enjoy the challenging question, like how do I stop this from happening? Or how do I, you know, the really travel tip questions. I really enjoy those because those make me think. Okay, Andy Graham, bye-bye.
When I'm worried whether somebody's going into my room when I'm gone, I put a little piece of paper or a wire tie there, and when I open the door, it's going to fall down.
I'm leaving my room, and here's a trick I use to check whether people enter my room. I'm a little worried because there's a kid that sleeps in a room up next to me. He actually knows when I'm coming and going, and he could hear me coming up the steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here in the door. Okay, and then you can't use a piece of paper really because it's too thin. You need a card, and you need something that's going to fall off easy. But you'll see the next video where it's hanging out the door. And of course, if you had the same color as the door, it'd be better too. But you're kind of relying on the fact that the people just don't notice anything. And I also use a wire tie, a plastic wire tie. I had one, but I lost it. I don't know where it went to. I have a whole bunch of them. I got to figure out. I got too much junk in my room right now. I need to go through it and straighten it up. I have to do it anyway, so. But this is a security secret. How to check whether somebody has entered your hotel room while you was gone. I don't let people enter, ever.